Why do they have to ruin just about everything? Michael Snyder reports. I am not one of those people that believe that everything in our society was better decades ago when I was growing up, but without a doubt, those that are running our society today have ruined so many of the things that were truly great when I was a child. Among other things, they have ruined our sports, our movies, our schools, our churches, our military, our architecture, our culture, and our federal government. Just about all of our major institutions have been infested by incompetence and political correctness, and it's getting worse with each passing year. When I was growing up, Craftsman tools were world famous for their quality. Sadly, the brand was eventually sold to Stanley Black & Decker, and a $90 million factory was built in Texas to build Craftsman tools for a new generation. But the factory was so poorly built that it ended up being a total failure, and now it's being closed for less than 4 years after it opened. The world's largest tool company could not figure out how to make a wrench. Stanley Black & Decker built a $90 million factory on the edge of Fort Worth, Texas, intended to burnish the made-in-the-USA luster of the Craftsman brand by forging mechanics tools with unprecedented efficiency. But the automated system was a bust, and the tools that were supposed to be pumped out by the millions, are so hard to find that some consider them collector's items. In March, 3.5 years after breaking the ground, Stanley announced it was closing the factory. The property is now being advertised for sale. They've totally ruined a once great brand, and that's extremely unfortunate. The Washington Post has been ruined too. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, I actually enjoyed reading the Post. In particular, I found myself mesmerized by the wonderful articles by Tony Kornheiser, who would write about the Redskins. I also look forward to reading his latest witty observations about the team. Needless to say, those days are long gone. In the years since, the Post has been transformed into a far-left political rag and now is on pace to lose approximately $100 million this year. 10 years after the Washington Post was purchased by Amazon founder and billionaire Jeff Bezos, the outlet is on a pace to lose about $100 million in 2023, according to a recent New York Times report. Bezos took over the Post for $250 million in 2013. In one of the most significant media acquisitions of the last decade. The Post's famous saying, "Democracy dies in darkness," became the official slogan of the paper in 2017 under Bezos' watch. But it seems that even Bezos could not turn around the Post's flagging popularity with readers. Those in positions of power have also totally ruined the experience of going to the movies. When I was growing up, going to see a movie was a special event. But now most Hollywood movies relentlessly push far-left propaganda down our throats, and actually visiting one of our extremely filthy movie theaters can be a very dangerous thing too. The enchanted silver screens of our childhood have been transformed into dens of dingy darkness and even danger. Video emerging this week of a shocking attack on a 63-year-old man in Florida. A younger aggressor launched himself at the man, knocking him to the ground. Now, I couldn't do an article like this without mentioning the Bidens. They brought so much disgrace and so much dishonor to the White House, and the rest of the world is literally laughing at how pathetic our government has become. On Wednesday, U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene publicly displayed images of Hunter Biden having intimacy with women. Congress got an earful on Wednesday of evidence and details how the DOJ established obstruction and tried to derail any legitimate investigation into the alleged crimes of the Biden family, with confirmation from whistleblowers that their superiors repeatedly denied them permission to file charges, investigate, even to ask questions. But one of the more memorable moments came when U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican from Georgia, presented images of confessed tax cheater Hunter Biden, more or less with not too much clothing. There are multitudes of such images and have become available from the laptop computer he abandoned at the repair shop, as he documented and then forfeited the rights to his confessed escapades with various women. The images were blocked strategically. And this week, more evidence emerged that proves that the Bidens have taken in millions upon millions of dollars in bribes from foreign sources. But the Bidens have nothing to fear because our deeply corrupt law enforcement officials won't do anything about this, so Joe Biden is free to continue to downgrade literally everything that he touches, and that includes the military. On Friday, diversity-obsessed Biden nominated women to lead the U.S. Navy, even though the Secretary of Defense had recommended a very highly qualified man for the position. Casting aside the recommendation of his defense secretary, President Biden on Friday nominated Admiral Lisa Franchetti to command the U.S. Navy. If confirmed, she would be the first woman to command a military branch and the first on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Biden's move took many observers by surprise, as Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin had recommended Admiral Samuel Paparo for the position. Paparo is Top Gun graduate with more than 6,000 hours in F-14s, F-15s, and F-A-18s, 1,100 carrier landings, and experience commanding forces in war zones. However, with the Biden administration obsessed with diversity hires, Paparo's bid was likely doomed by the fact that he is Caucasian. My father was in the U.S. Navy, and it greatly saddens me to see what's happened to the once great institution. In recent years, our military has been transformed into a far-left social experiment, and vast numbers of conservative young people no longer have any interest in joining the armed forces as a result. Everywhere around us, our major institutions are being destroyed, and our leaders have put us on a course that leads to national suicide. But those that are running things are not going to change what they believe. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing, and that is really bad news for all Americans. This is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, "My name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss any of the latest updates. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the most important news. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media on Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is on End of the American Dream by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.